Hey, what's up everybody? Today I want to talk about changing your manual transmission oil on a Mercedes SLK 200 R170 from 1999. This is a 5-speed manual edition which has the M111.946 gearbox and engine. So before we get started, put your key in the ignition and either open the door or open the window so you don't lock yourself out and the alarms don't trip. To get this done, we'll need to jack up the car. So I've got the car on jack stands down the front and a stand here in the back on both sides. Let's go underneath. Now, I've been trying for quite a long time to get the right tooling that actually fits. You'll find you'll need a 14mm hex like this. So you can use a 14mm Allen key, but that will probably be too broad and won't fit. Also, specific type of ratchets don't fit. So if you have this large style ratchet here, this is actually too long. As you can see, if you attach that, that is too big and will not actually fit in between. There's very limited space. So in order to circumvent that, I went into Amazon and found this, which is a laser low profile hex socket set. So you will need something like this to get underneath there and into the car. And the other thing, of course, is because these plugs have not been removed for many years, you'll need some leverage of some kind. So I got a pipe, but this pipe was too long initially, so I had to get an angle grinder and just cut that apart right there, because the problem is, of course, with the clearance that those jacks provide, the jack stands, a long pipe will not give you enough play, so you need to cut it at just the right sort of length. Now this is probably about 1.5 feet, maybe a bit more, so you have to see what works for you. And then, of course, what we'll do, put the ratchet in there, put the low socket hex split on, and then we can go and crack this loose. So we're under the car right now, and you can see there, that's the fill plug. So that's a 14mm hex. And we have a drain plug right here, which is also a 14 hex. Now, what you want to do is loosen the fill plug first. And there's a very simple logic to that, because if you open the drain plug first, and all the diff oil drains out and you cannot open the fill plug, then you're stuck and have to get your car towed. You don't want that. So, and you can see here, there's not much space at all. So that's the reason why we need to get the low profile hex bit, or otherwise you need to drop the entire transmission out, which is a lot more work than it's worth. And there we go, we've got the ratchet in there and we've broken this loose. So this is actually hand loose now. So I'll take this ratchet out. There we go. And we'll get the drain bucket and put that here to catch the oil. So now that we have everything in place, bucket, the filler is loose. Now we can try to crack this one open. So I'll get a breaker bar, another 14, and then this should do the trick. And here we go. Got a bigger ratchet out, and this is coming loose there. We can actually see some oil escape. So this is hand loose now, so I can loosen that by hand and we'll start dripping out. There's really not so much space down here, so I apologize for the weird angles, but this is now hand loose and the filler is loose, so we're safe to take this out. This will probably fall into the bucket, but that's fine. I'm just screwing that with my thumb because I don't want to get oil all over my hands. And you'll see there's a washer here as well, so we want to keep that on there. There we are. Keep on turning. Keep on turning. And there you go. And this is coming out. Now, I might get myself a beer or some wine whilst we watch this drip. Once this is done, we'll start filling her up. I have a pump which needs to flush out. But there we go. All right. So what we can see here is the drain plug in my hand. It's got a magnetic top, so what we see there is steel bits from the actual transmission that have been captured over time. Also, there seems to be some metal residue in the oil. It's got a silvery color. If we check the bucket, we've got just under 2 liters in here. So I do have 2 canisters worth 1 liter to go in. It doesn't really matter that much if we don't pre-measure, as the overfill will leak out and then we're good to go. But I'll give this a clean up before it goes in. And here we go, that's all cleaned up. So let's just dive under, put that back in before we actually start filling up. Well, I almost forgot to put the washer back on. Try to get a new one if you can, but this one is still in pretty good nick, so I'm going to use that again. But make sure your drain plug has the washer on it before you install it. Alright, so we've got the drain plug back in with the washer, and I've got the pump connected up here, so the fill plug is out. And I've got my oil connected to the other end of my pump, and here I have my pump. So I'm going to start pumping this in a moment, like this, and then start filling her up. I need 2 hands for that, so I'm not going to film that. And then once this starts dripping out slowly, that's when it's filled up, and we'll remove the hose and put the filler plug back in and tighten it. Hand tight will be fine, don't make it too tight, otherwise it'll be a nightmare to get out. And here we are, it started to drip, so that means we're full. I've kind of gone through, I guess, 1.5 liters, so 1 bottle there, the other one open, there's still some left in there. And I'll show you a way to recycle that and make something pretty cool out of that. But here, anyway, we're done. So let's get the filler plug back in. So I've hand tightened the filler plug. That one is not actually magnetic, so there's no debris on that. And now we'll take our ratchet and just get that also hand tight. Not too tight, because the heat will expand this and otherwise stick it really in place. Alright, that should probably do the job. One final check. Get this into position. Yeah, that's good. Alright, cool. So there we go. The drain plug is secure, fill plug secure, the fresh oil is in. So here we are back in the car. Moment of truth, we've gotten off the jack stands, time to start her up. Alright, was making some weird noise. Give it a moment to circulate. Oh, that is immediately a lot smoother. Okay, I'm going to take this for a drive and see how it feels then, get the oil warmed up. But if that was helpful for you, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm intending to do more work to this SLK in future, so maybe it'll be something in there for you as well. And yeah, like I said, subscribe, it helps my results to go up in the searches. And if you have any suggestions, ideas, tips, tricks, hit me up. Alright, thanks guys.